help for me is getting within a family as quickly as possible, as soon as needs are identified.
With some families, it's about accessing medical appointments. The children might have medical issues that the families are unable to support through either poor English or not knowing where to find the right resources, so it's supporting families through that. With some families, it's about supporting them through accessing benefits. There might be financial barriers to them. It really much comes down on a case-by-case basis.
I've been a frontline practitioner for many years, and it's always been a case of we've supported families when they've fitted the criteria of what we're able to offer them, and in Manchester that's often been at a high level, and early help's about intervening as soon as we can with whatever that family need. And to me that's great, because hopefully that allows us to support more families and change more future outcomes for children and young people.
If we get our offer of early help right for our children and our families in our city, we've got the opportunity to really make a difference to people's lives.
Early help is really important in schools, because that's where children will be first identified, or families with any sort of additional support needs they might have. Schools are usually the first contact that families will have to talk about what's not going well or what's going well.
So early help is absolutely key in school. School can do so much to support, from the little things to the big things. It's all about de-escalation and making sure that families' needs are met early on to ensure that children are safe. It's part of our safeguarding accountabilities, keeping children safe in education. So in some senses early help is key in schools.
One of the things that we found most useful probably about the early help is the fact that you can get in not just the university but at the level 1, giving those parents the opportunity to come in, get supported in doing things like food banks, just trying to think, it's managing the behaviour of their children, housing, and getting. The thing about early help is getting everybody around the table. That's been really useful and advantageous for our school in terms of having that whole clear agenda from everybody to support all our families. And I think that's just been the most benefit.
To me is that teachers, public services, voluntary community sector really start to work with people with a different approach and reframe their thinking. We need to stop asking people and working with people on what's wrong, so people leave with a sense of helplessness. We need to change the way we have conversations so that people recognise that they are central to making things better, and they do have the skills and abilities to do it. And it's our job as experts not to tell them what to do, but to work with them to realise that they are central to making things better for themselves.
Right from the start, we have had these big conversations with parents, so really in a way it doesn't actually matter what the form looks like, because at the end of the day how you capture the information is key, but you can have a conversation with just a piece of paper and a pen, which is what we've done for quite some time.
Very much now a collective ownership over early help and leadership disseminated across that whole department really, and through peer support, peer training, it's allowing more people to be able to conduct assessments, which supports us, because we have something like 400 odd students who are at level 2 need at the moment, so it's a huge number of assessments to be completed. But it's doing it not just for assessment's sake, it's having a whole team approach and a whole team input into early help.
The way that I would see schools leading on some of the early help work, or certainly integrating some of the early help work into troubled families, is very much that kind of leadership role within a community. I think schools have a unique position in a community in the sense that they can engage with families brilliantly and better than the local authority can in a lot of cases. And I would like to see troubled families, early help and schools have a kind of fully integrated offer really, so that there are no separate structures, and I think that if we can achieve a model where schools aren't just targeting those level 2 cases, but perhaps targeting some of the level 3, perhaps even supporting social workers as well, I think that we can have a really coherent early help offer and a really positive outcomes for families in Manchester.
Well, schools work all the way across the spectrum for children, for families, and their biggest partners are the children themselves and the families with whom they work. And schools are closer to children and families than any other public agency. For me, providing that leadership is about ensuring that everything a school does is focused on the broad needs of a child. Look, we know children need to get the very best they can in literacy and numeracy, making sure they can do all of those things that we know schools for. But really the leadership of a head teacher is also about making sure that there are other services drawn together, that when we know that a child and a family need a bit of extra help in order for that young person to keep progressing, that they work closely with the family initially, drawing in some support from elsewhere if they need to, but if necessary they draw together a team who can together across all the different agencies who can support that child and family, make sure the child gets the best start in life. For me, it's another school improvement priority. It's about making sure that the heart of a school doing its job, and all the best schools know this, head teachers do this instinctively, but at the heart of that job is making sure that the whole child is in view, that the life that child leads and the opportunities there are through the whole range of services there are in the city are brought together to give that child the best chance to succeed. That's what leadership looks like on a school basis. Heads lead communities, heads lead families, heads leads teaching all the time. Early help is a key part of making sure that delivers for the children in Manchester.